Hello, Austin. We're on the road. We're at the Arte Museum. Join us. Hello, Austin. A show was created to empower and encourage parents to listen.
These children are our future leaders.
The Eagle Talk Show on the road.
Here's Micah.
Welcome to the Eagle Talk Show. We're on the road. I want to thank, first of all, everyone for their thoughts and prayers during my recovery. I have recovered very well. We're back at the Eagle Talk Show, but this season we're on the road. So, gracias, venidos para el show, the Eagle Talk Show. Y gracias por su apoyo cuando no estaba yo presente en el tiempo del show. Pero estoy aquí para darle ganas para el show. Pero ahora vamos a enfocarlos en el talento de arte. ¿Cómo se enfoca uno y qué es importante el arte que apoya a nuestros niños? Que es bien importante. Los invitados van a platicar con nosotros qué es la importancia de arte y cómo impacta a un estudiante académicamente. And today we're going to focus on the importance of the foundations of art that impacts our child and our children in school and their dreams. So we want to welcome our guests here. We have Dante Aguirre. Thank you for coming here today. And we have Edgar. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Donnie, there you go. I want to just share, this is beautiful art that we have here. Elaborate, first of all, who inspired, what inspired you to be so creative?
I had to think to my memory of being a child, getting lost in my grandmother's art studio. Got lost in a bag of charcoal and started drawing on the floor and loose pieces of paper. And ever since then, I just kept pursuing my interest to paint, to draw everything I see, experience. In terms of when I look at the abstract expressionists, impressionism, in terms of artists that inspire my work, I'd say influencing, I'd refer to Jackson Pollock, Picasso, Monet, Van Gogh.
That give you more inspiration to be more creative with your art. Edgar, ¿qué te hizo en tu talento? Porque bailas, yo sé que tienes un grupo de folclórico. Explícase a nosotros qué es el grupo de tu talento, que también les enseña a los niños, al público.
Claro que sí. Bueno, primero, gracias por tenerme contigo en este espacio tan importante. Y bueno, la inspiración es algo que nace uno con ese talento. Llega el momento en tu vida, en mi caso 1989, 6 años de edad, primera clase de danza folclórica, sientes el cuerpo te dice, te llama a ser parte de un grupo, le echas muchas ganas, te emocionas y bueno, te seleccionan para estar por muchos años dentro de este equipo. ¿Qué me inspira? ¿Qué me motiva? ¿Qué me motivó en ese entonces? Definitivamente fue el sentirme parte de un grupo, sentirme libre en un espacio donde puedo expresarme por medio del baile y definitivamente es ver la cara de las demás personas reaccionar cuando yo estoy haciendo lo que me gusta.
¿Cómo ves a un padre o de educar a un padre la importancia de apoyar a sus niños en los talentos o en arte, que es importante? Porque el arte es parte del cerebro, del cerebro derecho, que es el que tiene más talento de nosotros. El cerebro de la izquierda es más cuando nos damos cuenta, ¿verdad? ¿Qué recomiendas tú para un padre que apoyar a sus hijos con ese talento?
Es difícil, es muy difícil para un padre el darse cuenta que su hijo puede ser, su hija puede ser un artista en cualquiera de las expresiones que sea, de las disciplinas. Porque tenemos, sobre todo los mexicanos, y hablo de mi experiencia en ese entonces, pensar que tu hijo pueda ser bailarín para toda su vida. Lo comparas con otro tipo de carrera y dices, ¿sabes qué, mi hijo? Esto no puede ser para ti porque no te va a dar, no va a funcionar para tu vida. En este tiempo, en este país, es algo diferente, es un esquema de vida completamente transformado, en donde ya las generaciones de padres actuales ya creen en el arte y apuestan por eso y obviamente soportan a sus hijos y los apoyan para poder seguir una carrera. ¿Qué les puedo decir a los papás? Que crean en sus hijos, que crean en el talento que tienen y que los apoyen y que siempre los estén motivando a hacer las cosas sin importar cuántas veces tengan que cambiar de carrera, porque igual empiezan con danza pero acaban con pintura.
Sí.
o empiezan con artes plásticas y acaban jugando soccer. Lo importante es que cada niño pueda experimentar lo que en el momento estén sintiendo.
Porque a veces diferentes culturas no apoyan a sus hijos por razones de la cultura, el talento. Yo digo también, cuando uno no apoya ese talento en la casa, entonces rechazamos a ese talento que nos desarrolla a la persona o el estudiante, que es importante el padre o los padres educarse, que ese talento no es talento de Dios, es como un sueño. El sueño no es de Dios, el sueño es de sus hijos y apoyar a sus
Definitivo. Yo creo que toda la gente que está en ese país, todos los padres, independientemente de la etnia, independientemente del color de piel, creencias, estamos en un país en donde ya no debería de existir tabús acerca de ciertas líneas de trabajo, en este caso el arte. Yo creo que ya todos los padres en este momento tenemos que tener la mente abierta para poder aceptar lo que nuestro hijo quiera desarrollar. Y es muy importante eso.
Where did you receive education, training, or anything to kind of just empower that gift that you have?
I always had an interest in art when I was in school. With the amount of limited classes that were offered, my parents let me take art classes outside of school when I was a young kid. And that led to, when I got older, I started taking figure drawing and figure painting. Being a lot of my work is figurative. I was also attending a program at Santa Monica College in California. It's called a mentor program. And that's under the direction of my professor at the time, Ron Davis, department chair. And he was had a very big impact on how to look at art and how to express that in a way that, to find a way to relate. And it was really where I really started to get my critical thinking of how I produce my work.
We have a lot of that critical thinking, all of us, right? What is it? I know this saying is something, this amazing painting. What was your experience doing this painting, if you could share with us?
Being that this is one of the most recent works I've created, the experience comes from a time when I may have been at a dark place in life, trying to understand things, the reasons of why things happen. There's a lot behind this piece itself. The title, I titled Pondering Freedom. There's the idea of these walls we put up in front of ourselves and how to get beyond those walls. It's the idea of feeling cornered, but there is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's to persevere and get there. And when I look at this, when I was painting it, there's a lot that one may go through, but it makes us stronger.
Right. Okay. How long did it take you?
I put a little over 30 hours into this piece. It was for the exhibition that I had at the Belmont, and that's part of the RA organization for artists.
Me dice que la pintura le tomó más de 30 horas. Se expresa lo que pasamos en la vida nosotros, a veces que dudas o problemas, y le demuestra que estás triste, pero también padres que tiene uno en la vida. Tenemos unos etapas que son difíciles para nosotros a veces en la vida, lo expresa él. What would you say to parents that to embrace their child's creativity? What would you say in your own words to those parents that are, because art, and overall, art is obviously the foundation of the creativity for us as a child, as all of us as human beings. But somehow society tends to bury that, and whatever levels might be that. And funding for public school is trying to be challenging also. But I believe that art is part of that, the inner source that comes with us to express who we are on this planet and how we're going to serve this planet. But art is the beginning that gives potential academically for the child to be a doctor, to be a nurse, to be a teacher, maybe to be a hairstylist, etc. So what would you say to those parents that are still challenging, not embracing quite the creativity or the art of that child? Either you're experiencing it as a child, or what would you say to those parents?
I would say to nourish that dream. My parents always supported that dream to be an artist. I know that when people think of art, that you can't make money, you can't have a professional living as an artist. It is this very hard career. But to nourish that dream of a child, for them to take that risk to do the work that it requires. It takes a lot of support from people's parents, and I think that's important that the support comes from parents, and I was fortunate to have that.
Edgar, ¿dónde recibiste o dónde ganaste la educación, talento tuyo? ¿En qué nivel?
Como bailarín, desde los 6 años, la experiencia yo creo que es lo más importante. Estar en el campo de trabajo desde los 6 años hasta los 30 y algo que tengo en este momento.
¿Cómo pasan los años, no?
Yo creo que es la principal formación que tengo, el poder tener la oportunidad con ballet folclórico profesional en Oaxaca de viajar a todo el país, de presentarnos en Estados Unidos, de ir a Centroamérica, de conocer y de poder comparar también lo que tenemos con lo que existe afuera. Es lo que te da la seguridad de poder decirle a otra persona, te puedo enseñar lo que yo sé.
¿Lo haces voluntario en el grupo? ¿Y cuántos están en el grupo?
Lo hacemos de manera voluntaria con la mayoría de las personas. Tenemos niños, tenemos adultos, somos 40 adultos en el grupo ahorita, bailando, personas que no bailaban absolutamente nada. Muchos de ellos me dicen, tengo 2 pies izquierdos, ¿puedo hacerlo? No hay límite para hacer cosas, entonces lo intentan y ahí están. Tengo 20 niños en el grupo con el apoyo de los padres, niños que quieren bailar, niños que realmente tienen su pasión por estar en este espacio, con el objetivo principal de poder experimentar este tipo de arte.
¿Y a qué edad los aceptan?
Empezamos a aceptar niños desde 5 años hasta 12, de 3 años en adelante, dependiendo de la estatura, vamos a trabajarlos para el grupo de adultos, jóvenes y adultos.
¿Y cuántos años tienes? ¿Cuántos años estás haciendo el talento que tienes?
Desde los 6 años.
Y hasta ahorita, ¿verdad?
Hasta ahorita.
¿Qué más recomiendas tú a los padres que piensas tú o cómo se pueden los padres a ser parte del grupo?
Claro. El grupo se llama Oaxaca Arte Movimiento.
¿De aquí en Austin?
Aquí en Austin,
Okay.
Sí, somos locales. Y el principal objetivo de formar este grupo, además de compartir mi conocimiento en folclore, es poder tener un espacio en donde podamos practicar el idioma en español. Cuando llego a Estados Unidos a formar parte de esa comunidad, como todos, yo creo, llegamos a buscar un refugio, un espacio en donde podamos conocer o seguir trabajando nuestro talento. Llegas a un espacio en donde no encuentras un lugar en español. Y creo que hay personas que, como yo, llegamos a este país buscando esa alternativa de mantener nuestro idioma, de practicar, de conocer gente. Entonces, Oaxaca Arte Movimiento ofrece folclore y también ofrece la oportunidad de encontrar personas con las que puedas platicar en español.
¿Y cómo se funciona la organización? ¿Con qué fondos o cómo se mantiene?
Apoyo de la gente. Algo que me sorprende, que me tiene muy contento en este año y medio que estamos trabajando, es que la gente, tanto la gente adulta, personas que bailan con nosotros como padres de familia, apoyan al 100% de nuestro proyecto y están colaborando todo el tiempo.
Unos últimos mensajes al público. ¿Qué querías demostrar o platicar o decirle al público?
Claro. Definitivo es que siempre cuando queremos hacer algo, no importa la edad, lo podemos lograr. Podemos alcanzar sueños, podemos alcanzar metas, no importa qué tan triste estés en el momento, cuando empiezas a hacer lo que te apasiona, toda tu emoción cambia. Otro mensaje que quiero dejar también es que sigan apoyando a sus hijos, que los sigan motivando a lograr sueños, no importa que tan descabellados suenen, nunca es tarde, nunca es difícil, nunca es imposible para lograrlos. Y bueno, invitarlos a la Guelaguetza.
¿Dónde pueden estar en contacto con el grupo o contigo?
Claro que sí, tenemos una página en Facebook, la página es Oaxaca en Austin, y facilito todo junto, y tienen toda la información del grupo, tienen fotografías, videos, presentaciones, tenemos muchas presentaciones en la ciudad, y la más importante es en julio 16. La Guelaguetza se presenta por primera vez en Austin, tenemos invitados de Oaxaca, invitados a pintores, maestros de baile, el grupo de nosotros adultos se presenta también.
En la página. La página en Facebook. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias. Any last words? And how can people get, they want to buy your art? How can they reach you?
Instagram would be Don DJ Aguirre Art, and on Facebook it's Don DJ Aguirre Art. I'm currently working on a website, and it will be dondaguirreart.com.
I want to thank you, Edgar.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. We're here at the Mexican Arte Museum. We'll be right back. Welcome to Sendero Healthy Minute. Today we learn about nutrition and healthy meals. It is an honor today to have and welcome our guest, nutritionist from Austin Independent School District. We have June Hazeman and we have Lynn Tang. Welcome to Healthy Minute. So Lynn, what is a healthy and balanced meal?
So all AISD meals are based on My Plate. This icon helps the consumers play in, have an idea what is a healthy meal, how a balanced meal should look like. We want half of our plate to be filled with amazing fruits and vegetables, which contains great nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. 1/4 of our plate to be filled with grains, and preferably make half of our grains into whole grains. And 1/4 of our plate to make into lean proteins. And of course, we can't forget about the dairy part. It is recommended to have 1 cup of dairy, non-fat or low-fat products with each meal.
So June, what happens during the summer? What programs are there?
Right now, we're up to about 30 sites and more will be added. And these sites are also open to the public. So whether the child is enrolled in the program that's going on at the school, they can go up there for breakfast and lunch. And we'll advertise those breakfast and lunch times, and the meals are free for everyone from 1 year to 18 years.
What important information do parents need to know about healthy and balanced meals?
So this is a photo I took at our cafeteria. Most of our cafeterias have redesigned some of our cafeteria serving lines where we would have the fruits and vegetables being the first thing that are presented to the kids, and then later on entrees. Studies have shown that if we present fruits and vegetables to the students first, being the first items they see on the line, there is a higher increase in grabbing that item and higher consumptions of fruits and vegetables.
Amazing. Welcome to Eagle Talk Show. We're on the road at Mexican Arte Museum. So we are a guest here, an artist. We focus today on artists, how art impacts a child's creativity, and it's the foundation. Es importante, padres, que apoyar a nuestros hijos en el arte, en talento. Es lo que tenemos que hacer nosotros para nuestros hijos que salgan académicamente adelante. Nuestro invitado ahorita va a ver cómo juega el arte en su vida, cómo juega el arte. Bienvenido, Pedro Flores. Bienvenido.
Nice to be here. Thank you, Micah.
You're welcome. Dime, ¿quién te inspiró en tu talento?
It's a very hard question. I feel I was born with a talent to be creative. I guess you could say the first person I saw, which was my mother. We grew up, in a kind of poor family, and we had rough times, tough times. And she was the type of woman that was very creative. She always looked for ways to keep us busy. And since we didn't have a lot of money, she made our clothes, did some arts and crafts. And I think I watched her and picked up some of her ideas. So I never felt like I fit in with other children.
So you saw some creativity in the household?
Yes. Did
your mom have any creativity, any talent?
Not at all.
Somehow you saw that.
Yes, and like I said, I didn't feel like I fit in with most, so I'd go play with my dog all the time and play by myself in the what I would call the woods, which was just a small lot full of trees. Yes. So like any other young boy, I'd play war and jungle with my dog, and spending my time with my dog and being by myself, it expanded my imagination. And so I had to think of things to do by myself. And so I took in nature, watching people, what they did. And so a lot of, I guess you could say, life influenced me.
So what's been challenges as an artist in your own experience? What's been a challenge for you?
I would say trying to get people to understand what I was trying to say. I always tell people I'm terrible with words. So I'll show you, I'll paint you a picture, because to me, a painting could say 1,000 words. And that's my way of expressing myself, with colors, with movement. Sometimes it'll be a figure. And so the biggest challenge is trying to get people to understand what I'm trying to say through my artwork.
As growing up as a youth, did you see any challenges from other people not recognizing or not understanding your creativity? Especially in schools, you know what I mean?
No, because I was very fortunate. I was somehow popular in school. I don't know why. I was
Se quedó famoso, ándale. Te recibió algo en talento bien, ¿verdad?
I wish. And, I consider myself an outcast, so I really didn't feel any challenges from other students. I just felt I had to express myself somehow. I was always in the arts, in theater. I really, there was the classes that they offered in high school and in junior high, so those were probably the only classes I took, but the challenges would have been my teachers not letting me go early and forcing me to stay there and do some art. So,
talking about youth, I was at, and this is nobody knows now. I'm going to release this to the university, to the public. I was in about 6th or 7th grade and had a talent show.
Yes.
And I did a rehearsal early in the morning, about 7:30, something like that. And I didn't know there was going to be audience. Okay, so they opened the curtains in the auditorium, and I remember doing. I think it was one of those disco songs, it was just, YMCA, that's what it was. YMCA came out. Who knew that, that was partly also building in my creativity to universe and to tap into the inner source, because I believe the inner source within us, if we tap into that, it gives us that path, the clearance path. Y digo que cuando yo estaba en grado como, tenía creo unos 12 años, yo creo, un talento y la música disco, salió y estaba con el YMCA y es cuando no esperaba que había haber gente a frente de mí y pues abrieron las cortinas y estaba la gente. Uno va descubriendo, yo digo, su talento, el proceso, niveles en la carrera de su vida y aquí estamos nosotros a hacer entrevistas con la gente y digo que es importante apoyar ese talento and it's so key to embrace that talent you have because that's where it comes from, the inner source. This is beautiful. Explain to us, what was your experience in this beautiful art painting?
Well, this piece right here, I did it's one of my pieces I did in San Antonio. I love going, I would say, to my safe place, which is Marilyn Monroe. Mm-hmm. I'm able to paint her or draw her just from my imagination. Mm-hmm. So this particular piece I did during First Friday, and right there during First Friday, I don't know if anyone's ever been to it.
So tell me what's First Friday.
First Friday it's First Friday in San Antonio.
Okay.
It's in the King William area, the Blue Star Art District. Anywhere around there, practically any house, every block, there is some artist painting, doing something.
It's free for the public?
Yes, it is. Okay. Myself, I'm at the Hart House Gallery, depending on the weather, and I'll paint live for everyone. And so this was more about the emotions, what came out at that moment. And a lot of people, I don't see what other people see sometimes in my art. Mm-hmm. They say look joyous and happy. And so I guess I was feeling that at the moment.
What inspired me, what inspired you to did a beautiful painting with actually two about the show, about me, and actually it was this jacket, I think, right? What got inspire you? How did you do it? Because it's just amazing. First of all, I'm honored to somebody, an artist, to say thank you. And your words were because you give so much to the community, Micah, as a leader. And I never expected that. And it's still, I'm processing after a couple of, about a year or something like that, receiving it. So.
It was more than a year in the making to do your painting, to get the
because
idea.
I was big back then, remember?
Well, I would not say. You were happy. You were happy and comfortable, let's put it. And what inspired me was what you just said. You gave a lot to people. And so all the colors I use, I try to capture you with colors. And you're not just one color. You're not just red or blue. You're all the colors in the rainbow. And so to me, it shows happiness. And so the paintings I did for you, I wanted to be able for children to relate to it, and also adults. And, children could maybe through the colors, the adults through the symbols. And so you inspired me through that, so that was just my way. I would say I was more of a conduit, and this was the canvas is the final product. And you're the inspiration. So I'm just a vessel in between that.
And that's why I see interesting you said vessel, because people say, my intention is to, when we created we're going to 5th year this year, September 2016, we'll celebrate our 5th anniversary with the show. And we started actually, it was a one-man show. It was starting at Walnut Creek, Early College Work Academy, part of Austin Independent School District. I started there in the cafeteria, and we used to film it early in the morning. And we prepared, I think, remember, one day before, shut everything down. And But I think what my intention was as my gift that I've been given is to share the people and say everything is possible in life.
Yes.
And you can give that to anyone, share that. Because I always say this to people, it's shame of us we don't share our gifts to people because that inspires people. And that's what we did the show. It's not about me, it's about we, because it's en público. El show es en público. Vamos para 5 años. Y yo, mi personal, doy mi regalo que tengo yo, que me dio mi Dios, a demostrar al público, que todo, educar a los padres. Yes. Recursos que hay, programas que hay en la comunidad, no más en Austin, porque vamos viajando, vamos a ir todo en lugar del estado de Texas este año. Pero es para demostrar a los padres que todo niño tiene oportunidad. And that's what I say, this year we're going to travel all over Texas, the show. We're on the road. I'll be in the studio maybe once or twice this year. But it's to educate the parents with resources and programs that there is in their community. And so that's what gives me the inspiration is from you, the public, en público, porque el show es en público, it's for the public, that we can show and give those educational tools for them.
And that's the way I approach my artwork. I'm trying to show people that life is beautiful, that anything you look at is inspiration. And it's just a matter of the perspective, the way you approach it. And that the world is such a beautiful place that it's our jobs to preserve it, to save it for the future leaders.
Yeah.
That we're, through
generations
art,
to come.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. That through art, we're connected. That you're not the only one going through something. That there's someone else out there. That through art, I learned as a little kid that this is what I wanted to do. And I always told myself since as a little kid, I'm not famous as I would like to be. Not clearly rich, but
you're rich in the heart and giving back.
Yes, and it's motivation. Yeah. That's to me is a reward enough when I see the people's faces and when they're shocked that I could come up with something in 2-3 hours. To me, and I'm trying to show people that with hard work, because everyone's had adversities, everybody had challenges, but if you really focus and with encouragement from others and your parents, that you too could do things like this.
Show us more about our art pieces.
This right here, I'm going to be donating to the Bastrop Fine Arts Guild. Okay. They're having a fundraiser. I'm so sorry, I don't know exactly when and where, but...
So you give back to the community?
Yes. Most of my art I've been giving out. I give a lot of my artwork because I just love bringing people smiles, to letting them know that there's someone that, it might be the lady right here that I see and something about her just captured me, and I'll draw her right there. And this is why I force myself to speed paint. So if she was just sitting there for an hour, I want to paint her real fast to let her know I thought of you and I thought you were beautiful, and it might have brought her a smile. This one here, if you would so graciously accept, I would like to donate it to you for future.
Thank you.
It's about
for a future fundraiser for the Eagle Talk Show.
Yes, sir.
We're now people know that we're nonprofit.
Yes, and this is basically showing that everybody's something. It's called This Thing Is Something. And I'd like to read the little story that I have with it. What is this thing nobody knew? This thing is unique, but wait, I've seen others like him. So he isn't that unique. What is he? He is different, but different quite doesn't do him justice. Some say he is special, but to be special, you must be different. And he isn't that different. He has to fall somewhere, but somewhere had no room. We will figure him out somehow. What is he? What do we call this strange, exotic, unique, different, special thing? He has to be something. That's it. He's something. So everybody's something. Don't just assume that just because, let's say this gentleman here, he's great at math. And just because I can't do math doesn't make me any less of a person. Right. My talent is in art. And I would say math is also an art, even though they consider it a science.
You got to figure the color, so much color, how much the paint. The other one before, I know we have a couple of minutes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sure, no, go ahead.
And this is more one of the ladies that really inspired me. And this is a dedication to Selena. And it's really a takeoff from Como la Flor, which is one of her most popular songs. And it's really just a dedication, I guess, I'm seeing it through the eyes of someone else that has lost someone in their lives. And it's a unique flower, a rose like no other. That, somehow he saw the roses, but this rose stood out. What was it about it? Was it the beautiful color? Might have been. Was it the beautiful scent that she gave off?
Or the innocence.
Yes, the innocence. This rose had no thorns. But someone took his rose away. Someone separated her from the bunch. But somehow he knew that she grew. How did he know that? Through his imagination. He saw her grow bigger into a beautiful rose. And he also sees it through other young people who take after Selena, who want to be like Selena, not just little girls or women, but men and boys.
Anyone with that creative talent.
Different cultures.
How can anyone out there wants to know more about your art, where do they go?
Well, that's very easy. PedroArt1.com is my website. Mm-hmm. You could also look me up through Fine Art America, Pedro Huitzi Flores. Also at Pedrito Flores 4 on Twitter.
Thank you
my
for
pleasure.
being here. Un aplauso para el invitado. We want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome to Healthy Minute, brought to you by Sendero. Today we'll talk about washing our hands and why is it important. A, stop the germs. B, stay healthy. C, we succeed in school. After all, we're the driver of our health. Hey guys, good to see you. Wait a minute. Are we forgetting something? We gotta wash our hands. Turn around.
Soap and water, soap and water, soap and water, soap and water. Wash your hands with soap and water. Wash your hands with soap and water. Faucet on, water flows. Get it nice and warm. Then grab that soap, lather up, scrub up to your arms. Count to 10, count again. Keep those bubbles showing. When you're done, rinse them off. Time to dry and go. If you're washing them, you're gonna keep the germs away. If you're washing them, you're gonna keep the germs away. Soap and water's gonna help you keep the germs away. If you're washing them, you're gonna keep the germs away. Away, eh, 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 eh. Away, eh, eh, eh. Away,
Welcome to the Eagle Talk Show. We're here at the Mexican Arte Museum. Bienvenidos todos ahora. Estamos enfocándonos la importancia de arte. We're focusing the importance and the foundation of the art and how it impacts our kids academically too. But we have a special guest here, our executive director here, Silvia Orozco, from the amazing museum here in Austin, Texas. And then we have also here Fidencio Duran. Thank you for coming to the Eagle Talk Show and really educating our community and parents the value of art, because I think our art is kind of sometimes disconnected between what, let's bring it back because it's impact our child academically. Sylvia, when was this amazing museum founded?
In 1984. So we're on our 31 years of Mexican Arte.
And you had recently an event. Is that you do it every year, or?
Yes, it was our last night. We had our 11th annual Taste of Mexico, where we recognize culinary arts as one of the arts, because the food is very much part of our culture. And so we did that. We celebrated that last night.
What is the purpose of the museum? Because everybody hears it like, wow. So, we knew who it was, but once you walk in, it's like, and please come and visit them, okay? Because it's amazing. It's really embracing culture and the creativity of everybody. That somehow I say our federal funding for public schools, sometimes they kind of not connected somehow for the funding. And so I think art is the foundation for that right brain, for that child say, I want to be this, I want to be a doctor. So when we eliminate those funding, and the child can't really embrace that talent. And so, Fidencio, how long have you been here in Austin? Because your art has been pretty much traveled everywhere.
Well, Mike, I've been here since 1981. When I was a student at UT Austin. I've been here since, off and on. I used to work with the Texas Commission on the Arts as well as an artist in education. So I lived in different parts of the state. I lived in Brownsville. I lived in Tyler.
El Valle.
El Valle.
Yeah, and Tyler and all over. And then, but I always came back to Austin. My family's nearby. I have brothers. Most of my brothers are here in Austin. My parents lived in Maxwell, Texas, up until about 5-6 years ago. So this has always been my home base.
What inspired you to embrace your talent?
Well, I have to say my family and the schools as well. I come from a large family. I have 10 brothers and a sister. And I have a couple of brothers that used to like to draw and paint. My older brothers, they would draw portraits, things like that. It's a pastime. And so I would see them working. And then at school, my teachers always encouraged me. I was a good student, so they always encouraged me. They gave me oil paints to take home, and to paint. And
so somehow they saw the creativity that you have, and that's the key for parents to, when they see that, to embrace it. So cuando ustedes padres, la oportunidad cuando un niño está dibujando o algo, una plática para apoyar ese talento que está desarrollando de ese momento con ese niño. Eso es importante. Sylvia, what's your position here in the museum?
Well, I think I'm one of the team members, but I'm also the founder and executive director. We do a little bit of everything, arts administration and curatorial work and fundraising. And
how many floors does it have?
Well, the museum is on, to the public, it's on the first floor. The other floors are for offices and our collection. We have a permanent collection, so it's also storage space for that. Okay. We're working on building a new building.
Wow, in the same location?
Yes, this is our building and our property, but the building is really not in condition to, because we would like to use the four
workshops
floors
or something
for the different for the public, but we're working on building a new museum.
So what's the expectation of building?
Well, we just finished our schematic design, and we're now going into our capital campaign plan, and we're still working on all those things.
Let us know how can we help on that.
Okay,
Let
sure.
us know. That's okay, because we were about education and embracing the community and teaching the parents and everybody that art. That's why I got to embrace my art creativity. This is amazing painting.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Share with us what were you thinking? What is it? It's giving us because different messages for everybody. I know that.
Well, this is a silk screen. It's a serigraph. It's done with 8 color runs. Okay. I did this with Coronado Studio here in Austin. It's called High Heel Shoes, Zapatos de Tacón. Okay. And it's about a quinceañera.
Yeah. I think everybody knows about quinceañeras, right? Celebrating that 15, that individual child is going through that from youth to adult. I know.
From a youth to an adult, and it's one of 2. I did the first one where they're inside the house in the living room, and they're making the girls her hair, and they're sewing the dress, and there's mariachis walking in, and they're playing music, and it's in the morning, and this is supposed to be later in the day, in the evening when they have the actual fiesta, the actual dance.
Right. You have someone, I think, at the airport, in one of our airports.
I do.
Share with that painting.
I have a 9-panel mural series at the airport above the West Ticket counter. It's called The Visit, and it's inspired by Sunday afternoons at my grandmother's house in Maxwell, Texas. Our family and my cousins would always gather after church for a whole afternoon of food and playing.
La cultura, right? The culture.
La cultura, música, la cena, comida.
We used to do that, Fidencio, when we were growing up too, and somehow our generation changes that. But we used to have every Sunday, my grandfathers. Everybody get there, my grandfather, la familia, el pan dulce, and pastries, but it was, I think it was unity and bringing everybody to, before it was texting. This is before texting and cell phones and all that stuff, and somehow I think that helped us to embrace our creativity. You know what I mean? And different families were different, but I always speak earlier, and I was saying to people how I came in to embrace my inner gift. I was raised by my grandfather. My grandmother was Catholic. My grandfather was Jewish. A very loving family. And I was very in the front of the living room, and my grandpa watching TV, and then I remember I was about 7 or 8. And I know there's a program, American Bandstand. I don't know what it was, but I was interviewing the guy in the TV and dancing, and that's when my grandfather said, "Mijo," It's like, what? It's like, I didn't do anything. And you're going to be in TV? It's like, okay. And I kept talking and dancing and all that stuff. Not to find out how they see those gifts. And I think that was part of those culturas, culture that when we have family gathers that sometimes we don't have them much now because the generations that were there are not here. But that was a time that we could have conversations, unas pláticas, and that's what sometimes we miss from in a lot of the cultures right now. And Sylvia, if I want to be a member or I want to be a donor, what's the process? What's the membership here?
Well, before I talk about that, I want to talk about what you were saying about Sundays.
Yes.
And Mexicarte likes to continue. We want to continue or carry on the tradition of that Sunday is very important for the family.
Yes.
And so every Sunday is free at Mexicarte Museum.
Está gratis. It's free. Okay. No, it's cool.
And we have also probably about 4 or 5 times a year we have activities for children and for families. We've had piñata making, we've had mask making, we've had all kind of activities.
Wow.
So every Sunday
there's no
they
excuse.
can.
You still get, there's no excuse. You get engaged with the child. You know.
And otherwise, when you come to the museum, we do have an admission that helps support the museum, and it's always free for members. And so and then we have many different events throughout the year, and to participate in different ways. Whether it's Dia de los Muertos, or Taste of Mexico.
Dia de los Muertos, It's a tradition that a lot of cultures don't understand, the Latino culture. The Dia de los Muertos, we embrace the death, and that's a celebration. That's what is amazing. Who influenced you in your life?
Well, I think my parents. Fidencio was talking about his family, and the same. My father was a boot maker from Totonilco, Jalisco.
Wow.
And as a child, I would go every Saturday to his boot shop, basically because after he got out, we would go buy the groceries. I don't know, my mother gave me that task of helping to buy the groceries. I guess she thought I was organized or whatever. But anyway, I would sit in his
And I guess she was right. Look what you created.
I would sit in the boot shop waiting for him to finish, and he would be making these beautiful boots.
Wow.
And so when I think back and I think about, I would watch him, and I can still see him like crafting and how the patience and the beauty that that he was making. He was a sculptor.
Yeah.
He was basically a sculptor making these beautiful boots. And then he had little scraps of leather, and there was all kind of colored threads, and I would make things. And I don't know. I just kind of started liking to make things, and that my family encouraged that. And so I studied to be an artist also at the University of Texas, and then I went to Mexico. And there wasn't really a gallery or a cultural center here in Austin back in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. And so when I came back, when I was in Mexico, the city of 200 and something museums, I started gathering things, books and
you saw
art,
something
and
there
art
called,
also,
right?
right.
You probably heard
and
that,
so came back and
saying, "Wake up! There's nothing about."
Didn't know if it was going to be a culture, a gallery, or a center or what. But we began with artwork that we brought from Mexico that artists donated, which some of them are on our exhibit today.
Oh,
They're on exhibit today. The museum, it became from a gallery to a museum because we have a collection. That's the basic thing, that we're a museum. Mm-hmm. We have a permanent collection because we're about preserving our culture.
Right.
So this work that we have here will be here for
generations.
For generations.
That's amazing.
And my mother, too. I need to mention my mother.
Sure, go ahead.
My mother was a writer,
okay.
And she didn't study to be a writer, but when we all left, there's 6 of us in the family, the kids, we all left, and then she told my sister, I have all these ideas, and my sister said, well, write them down. And so we used to buy her journals, like empty sketchbooks,
mm-hmm.
and she would just fill them without any mistakes, like no scratching out, nothing, no typing, just writing one page after the other of different stories about her life and about the neighbors. But she would change, like novelas. She'd change the names, but she'd make little stories and poems and things like that. So I think because of my parents.
I think that those are inspirational people that empower us to keep going, to give back to the community. My mom in her dying bed, she passed away. I'm going fifth year. She looked at me through my eyes and said, "Tanta gente te va a seguir." And I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You shall see." And I see it. I get it. I get the message. But it's because the message to every time I'm in a studio, every time I feel the presence, and I hear her say, "Échale ganas, mijo. Give it all you got. Pa la gente." And it's for the people. And I think those people that were at that time with us, they impact our lives. And that's what makes a difference for all of us to continue with that vision to educate other people in our community. What programs do you have here with the museum for youth?
Well, most of our, we have the family days on Sundays, but because of the facilities, we don't really have classrooms. We do a lot of tours. The kids come, and then we do educational tours and then hands-on activities for the children. But in the schools, we have over 50 classes throughout the year, and each of the 50 classes has 8 sessions where we teach basically silk screening. It's called a Screen It program, where the kids learn to create silk screen, whether it's on paper or on T-shirts. And I'm proud to report we're one of the finalists in the President's Committee on Arts and Humanities. We're one of the finalists across the nation.
Really?
And
Un aplauso, ¿no?
If we win, we get to go to the White House and get an award from Michelle Obama. So
there you go. Yeah,
we're
that'd be good.
burning all the candles to hopefully. But we over our lifetime of the museum, we have reached more than 100,000 children.
That's amazing. Son programas que tienes para el
from
público.
Kindergarten till for the public, we have lectures. We have also workshops. We have, the exhibitions. I do a tour to Mexico where people it's an educational tour. They can join the group, and we spend 6 days in Mexico City, going to probably 5 to 8 museums a day.
Okay.
And also visit some of the great
and how
restaurants.
do you fundraise that, and how did you do scholarships? How do the individual pays on their
Yes,
way?
And part of that is a donation to the museum.
Okay.
And but it's an educational tour.
Yeah. So, ¿qué programas tienen para los niños? ¿En los públicos? ¿En las escuelas públicas? O?
En las escuelas públicas tenemos clases de serigrafía. Realmente están en la área de South Austin y East Austin, las escuelas que están en el sur y el este, y se enseña serigrafía. Serigrafía, cómo hacer diseños, por ejemplo, en papel, o puede ser en playeras. Así pueden, hacer diferentes artes.
Okay. Fidencio, what has been your talent? What has been challenge?
The challenge for my talent, or to develop my talent? The challenge. El dinero.
El dinero, right? That's what people think as an artist, right? Like it's not overnight that we become.
No, it's not overnight. No. The challenge is always to find the time, to make the time, to practice your work, to find venues to exhibit the work. And of course, you have to sell. You have to make money somehow. You have to generate some revenue.
Did you ever doubt some of your art?
Did I ever doubt that it would
be
successful
or be display? Or?
Well, I think it's good to have a little doubt. I think it makes you work harder.
Because it gives you
it makes you work harder.
Right.
Not doubt, but I knew that it was going to be very difficult. Just because you always hear it's very difficult to become an artist, it's very difficult to make a living as an artist, and it is very difficult. So I think it inspires you to learn as much as you can about everything, about how to work with people, how to treat people, how to have an open mind, and as well as in your craft. Because I worked a lot with the schools, I worked a lot with teachers, I've worked with architects, I work with private people, I do private commissions. When I was in school, I learned how to frame works, how to conserve them, how to present them, and those skills still pay off to this day.
How does someone, if they have a home, a painting, how can they preserve from that the damage of the lighting and all that? Because I know the studio has different.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. Yes.
So how?
Mostly don't expose it to the harsh afternoon sunlight.
Okay.
If it's facing west. If you have things facing west, don't put or cover them. Pull the curtain. Preserve them. Put them behind glass. Don't let them get wet.
Okay.
Humidity is very, very dangerous. The humidity, molds grow and everything else.
Especially like newspaper, those have to be different frames or something when you do an article and you want to put it in a frame.
Yes, you should use acid-free mat board.
Okay.
A lot of people, I used to work in a gallery, and we'd have artwork coming in from wealthy families, and they would have cardboard and glue and Scotch tape. It's like, and of course there was a lot of deterioration because of that. So proper materials, acid-free, mat board. Keep it clean. Don't expose it too much to the afternoon sunlight. Don't get it wet. If it's a painting, don't spray it with glass cleaner.
Okay.
Just a little bit of water.
Okay.
A little bit of water or dust, just at all.
Now you tell me.
And most importantly, don't touch your hands on the work. Like if you go to a museum, they say, please do not touch the artwork.
Y eso es que la gente no entiende o no quiere, no sé si entiende, yo sé que sí entiende, ¿verdad? Cuando dice no toque el dibujo, lo que esté, ¿verdad? Y la gente lo toca y digo, entonces, ¿qué parte no entendimos que no lo tocamos, ¿verdad? And what would you say to parents out there about embracing their child's talent, creativity, any inspirational words that you want to share with them that, because a child right there wants to be an artist, but the mom or dad saying, they don't make enough money. And it's not about money, because that comes in the long run.
Sure.
It's how you market and it's all those stuff you do. What would you say to those parents out there?
Well, Mike, I would say to let them do their work. Let them do their work. Give them all the materials and the time when they want to do it. Don't force them. Don't tell them to do it. It's when they want to do it that you should be there. Let them do it, and don't be judgmental. Don't say, oh, that's not right. Oh, this is the way to do it. I've worked in many galleries and museums, and a lot of times I see parents telling, they have to walk around and explain to the child what the art is. You should let the child look at it and let them discover it for themselves. Don't tell them no. Let them do it. It's just a painting. You can throw it away. You can put it away. It's better that if they make mistakes or if they make a mess, it's better that they make a mess in a work of art than if they get all frustrated and they go make a mess someplace else.
Sometimes art is part of the art. They could express themselves, whether dealing emotional, psychological, it's creative art therapy. Exactly. You can use that. You're designing, you're painting, and all this
and
stuff.
It's a process.
Yes, a process.
I make a painting. There's a lot of things that I change all the time. I start with
a lot of things going in your mind.
A lot of things, I say, oh, that's not right. I'm going to change it. Making a work of art is a process of changing things, thinking about it, making a decision, and like anything else, right?
If someone wants to reach you just to contact you about your painting, or where would they find you?
They can go to my website, www.fidencioduran.com.
Oh, thank you. Last words of encouragement to anyone out there, parent, to embrace art, or also to visit the museum.
I would say, to encourage your children to do art, but also to let them see art. And here in Austin, we have many opportunities. There are lots of museums. And many of the museums have free admission, just like Mexicarte. We are on Sunday. Other people have the first Sundays of the month, some on Thursday. And so to take the children to see the art, it's just like if you want to be a writer, you need to read. If you want to be an artist, you need to see.
Right.
And you need to experience those kind of things. And not just in museums, but other places, have the children and go out and do things, just like in Mexico. Be with your family, with your children, and have these wonderful experiences. Because then these are the experiences that artists then draw or talk about.
How can they reach a museum?
On our website and mexicartemuseum.org.
There you go.
Also, we're 5th and Congress. We're very accessible. People can come and visit. As I said, Sundays are always free. And we have a wonderful website and Twitter account, Facebook account. Become our friends.
Yeah, Mexicarte
come
Museum.
By and visit.
There you see it. So we want to thank you, and thank you for letting us host here on the road for the Eagle Talk Show. Remember, you are the driver of your child's bus. Recuerde, padres, que usted es el chofer del autobús de sus hijos. Follow us on social media, Eagle Talk Show at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We want to thank our major sponsor for this episode, Sendero Health Plans. Hasta luego, nos vemos.